3 reasons your quads suck. And I'm gonna show you how to fix it. All right, guys, I laugh, but it's just the daggone truth. Like, the amount of people I'm seeing in these Hoochie Daddy shorts that don't have legs to back it up, like, I want to just go over and say, put my arms around you and say, let me show you the way, bro. Like, let me show you how to grow. And, you know, John used to always call them turnip legs. Think about a turnip, it's like fat at the top, skinny at the bottom. So what he used to say was like, everyone has some meat up towards their hip and it just dwindles down to nothing around the kneecap. So it's just like a reverse triangle or upside down triangle. And it's just not impressive, right? So what we want to do, I'm going to go over 3 things that will instantly level up your quads. And then I see the most common issues with in gyms that I go to all across the country. Number 1 is poor ankle mobility. If you look at this, right, this is a good bottom position of a squat, leg press, whatever. Like, look, my feet are flat on the ground. My hamstring is going to be parallel to the floor, right? So the problem is, though, is when I start getting knee flexion, what most people start doing is they raise up on their toe. So you see that, right? As I get knee flexion, meaning my knees over my toes, their knees go over the toe, but their heel comes off the ground. So watch this. This is what we want to get to. So you can see how my knee is actually over by 2-3 inches over my toe, but look at my heel. You see how it's flat on the ground? That's because my ankles are loose, guys. I can sit in this position, and all it is the bottom position of my hack squat. My hamstrings are literally wedged to my calves. So let's get into this hack squat, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Now, if you look where I have my feet, that's probably, I would say, in the middle of that platform. If I put my feet all the way at the bottom of this flex hack squat, like, to me, it just doesn't feel comfortable. I'm not powerful. I want to get, I would call that somewhere around the middle for me. At this point, I'm at hip width. My toes are out to 11 and 1 on the clock. So when I unrack this, set my head back, what I want to think about is when I go down, I want to sink and sit my hips into the hole. So you see that there? Look at my heels. Do you see how they're on the ground? They're flat on that platform. And then look at where my knees are and how much ankle flexion I have, and then how my hamstrings are wedged onto my calves. So now, sadly, what most people do is they get to here. So you see my heel now? My heels aren't on the platform. Now I'm loading that knee and there is tension off my quad, where if I sit back on that, where my heels are on the ground or on the platform, now that quad is fully loaded. That meat on my sweep is fully loaded. With no weight on here, I can feel that fully loaded. Now, from this position, what I want to think about is I'm going to drive through that heel and up. Now, let me show it again. Come down, sink, weight on those heels, sit all the way down, hamstrings on your calves, drive up. So if you can't do that, if you don't have that skill, what we have to do is we have to loosen your calves, we have to loosen your anterior tibialis, that muscle on the front side of your shin. And we do that, in my opinion, by deep tissue massage. And believe it or not, I'm gonna tell you a really cool fun fact. Loaded calf stretches work incredibly well. So what I would do is when you do your calf raises, I would do a set of 10, stretch for 10 seconds under that same load, do 10, stretch under the load, do 10, stretch under that load. And each time I'm trying to just sink that ankle and heel as deep as I can. And that's gonna help loosen that ankle up. Then, the last thing there, you saw that initial stretch that I got into. I'll get him to step back, I'll show it again. Every single morning after my cardio, I get into this position and then I drive my knee over that toe, leaving my heel flat on the ground, and I hold that stretch until I feel that tightness in my ankle, and I literally just hold it there and just hold 20 seconds. Every single day, 3 sets. That way, I'm guaranteed to my ankles are gonna be super mobile, so when I sink down into a squat, I can keep my heels flat on the ground, load that quad, and not put all that tension on the knee. Problem number 2, you're too concerned with progressive overload and putting as many plates on the leg press and hack squat as you can. Like, the amount of times I walk into a gym and see the leg press loaded to the end, and yet the guy and girls don't have developed legs, it makes me cringe. I want to go over there and pull half those plates off and say, all right, let's get these things in the hole, let's go deep, let's go controlled, let's not load the hips and ankles and knees and put all that tension on the muscle. Stop using mechanical advantage by putting your feet to the top of the platform and using all glutes and hamstrings. Get those feet lower on those platforms on your leg press, on your hack squat. Get deep in the hole, use full range of motion, and build from there. So I'll be honest with you guys. Like, I went back and I reviewed some of my game film or training footage that Chaz shot, and even though I had 10 plates, 11 plates, 12 plates on the leg press, I wasn't happy with my range of motion. I knew I had more left in the tank in terms of range of motion. So guess what I did in the middle of my off season? I said, you know what, I'm gonna humble myself. Instead of 10 plates, I'm gonna go back to 5 plates. I'm gonna get much better, deep, thorough range of motion, feet lower on the platform, and really work that quad through its full range of motion for me. Now, if you notice there, I say deep, but what I want you guys to do is there's a sweet spot. If you go so low that your lower back starts to round and come off the pad, that's too low. You don't have the mobility to get to that range, and at that point, you're loading the low back instead of the quad. So I want you guys to go as low as you can without rounding your lower back off of the leg press or the hack squat, and work from there. Start over, start your progression. So if that's drop down to 3 plates on the leg press and do a hard set of 10, do it. And then next week, do 12. And then next week, do 15. And then next week, go up to 4 plates. Restart that progression. Use full range of motion. Stop being so concerned about the load, because I can tell you right now, like, if your goal is big, nasty, freaky legs, no judge on the planet is going to say, you're not going to win. You didn't do enough plates on leg press. They're going to look at your legs and say they're either too small or they need to grow. That's the secret. Humble yourself. It isn't who can get the most weight. It's who can train the muscle with the most intent and purpose, and then fight that burn as long as possible. Third and final piece. If you've been subscribed to this channel, you follow my Instagram, you know what I'm going to say. It's pain tolerance. Quads, hamstrings, glutes all grow best on how long and how much pain you can take. And we all know, like, to me, when I was a young kid, I heard Arnold say, when the reps start to burn, that's when the set starts. That's when you start counting reps. And that always stuck with me. And I thought about that and thought, man, you know, that's true. Like, everything before the burn is fluff. It's a pre-exhaust for the work. So when you get to that muscle burn, run to that pain. Don't run away from it, because that's where the progress happens. And so many people stop that set like, oh God, I felt the pain. It's awful. Rack it. Get out of here quick. Run. No. Stay in it. Take a deep breath. Embrace it. Run face first into that motherfucker and start growing today. Like, everyone wants to know, like, Chris, like, your legs look crazy. Why and how is that? Because I'm able to endure pain more than 99% of people on the planet. I look forward to that. That's what I come to the gym for. That's what I crave. I want to see how far past my current pain tolerance I can push it and reestablish a new baseline. And when I get together with Dave or Chris or one of my buddies I used to train with, that's what we do. We go back and forth and seeing how far we can take that set until you just absolutely have to tap out. Because it's either you miss a rep or you fail. It's as simple as that, guys. Not enough people are taking sets to the end. And that's the reason you don't see big, nasty legs like you see on pro stages throughout the country and the world, honestly. You want to know the secret to legs, that's it. It's these 3 right here. It's ankle mobility, it's full range of motion, and it's fighting pain. You do these 3 things, I promise your legs will be better in 3 to 6 months. And in a year, they'll look stupid. But you got to trust me. You got to humble yourself. You have to start this process over with weight and range of motion, and then see how much pain you can take, and then each week beat it. There it is, guys. There's the secrets. All 3 to growing big, freaky legs. Until next time, like, share, subscribe. Chris on the TV.